The Galar region is one of the most interesting ones that have been introduced into the Pokemon franchise in a while, in my opinion anyway. There's a lot in this region that makes it unique from the rest, some of which was more controversial than the rest, but today I want to focus on the good stuff, because these games are really fun and I don't feel like throwing myself into the anger bonfire today. So without further ado, here's some of my favorite features in Pokemon Sword and Shield. One of the features that was pushed a lot was Pokemon Camp, and for good reason. I guess it's not just America that had a terrible real estate problem, since your mom just kind of gave you a squatter's tent and told you to, get out. Dexit's really doing a number on the economy. Anyway, I think that the tent gets overlooked quite a bit. I can only assume that the trainer's sharing the tent with their Pokemon, which is adorable. Snuggling up next to your Score Bunny to keep warm, Yamper curled up near the beanbag, and Machoke silently standing over everyone the whole night, just smiling. Okay, maybe it's not as cute as I thought. We can save this though. Imagine being next to a cute little Litwick slowly eating away at your soul. Nope. Muna, soft, cute, eating your dreams while you sleep, still creepy. Okay, maybe we just need to avoid Gen 5. Sizzlepede, warm, cute mustache, will coil around you as you sleep and cook you and then eat you from the inside out. Jeez! Okay, maybe put your Pokemon back in the ball before going to bed. Camp isn't just about the tent. In fact, that's the smallest component. You also get to just chill in the camp and watch your team run around and have fun. I think that this is one of the funnest ways to play with Pokemon outside of battle. Frankly, it's just the cutest thing. I can play catch with Togepi. Look at him waddle. Not every Pokemon is suited for this kind of cute behavior, but I still love every second. Some of the walking animations are a bit unexpected, but they're just vibing and I'm here for it. Look at them all having fun. They're getting along and wait, Grimmsnarl, no! I regret to inform you that Charlie the Togepi was turned to scrambled eggs at exactly 8 a.m. on November 25th, 2019. Out of respect for the oft ovum, we have emptied his remains into a pot. On an unrelated note, we have boiled egg curry readily available for anyone attending the services today. On the topic of curry, it's good and morally questionable, but eating Pokemon is for another video. The minigame is pretty fun, especially with other people. Healing in the wild without needing items is pretty great as well. Plus there's the curry decks, every trainer's aspiration, their greatest goal. That may have been a bit over the top, but honestly, with my track record, what did you expect? Anyway, I think that curry is a great addition that adds a lot of flavor to the game. Yes, that was a pun, no, I'm not ashamed. The eating animations for every Pokemon are super fun to watch and probably took half the budget of the game, but I can watch Basculin eat curry, so it's fine. Feast upon your brethren, you conniving fish. My only question is, where are all these ingredients coming from? I probably shouldn't be using anything that you randomly found in your pocket, or anything that's 3 days old. Why are you giving me this again? Whatever, the lamb sauce will save it. I'll just head back to Route 1 real fast. I'm kidding. For now. Curry is one of my favorite additions though. I really should have it more often in real life, but I'll take my Torchic Masala for now. Another great new feature is the Rotom bike. Getting around has never been this convenient in a Pokemon game before. Finally, I don't need to waste a move on my Pokemon or dig through a menu just to go on the water. It's completely seamless, traveling over the land and sea in style. In awful, tacky, color-clashing style. This is worse than Leon, honestly. Whoever died to make this bike possible must be rolling in their grave, with their soul being used to spin a motor and provide sustainable alternative power. Use the fashion of Galar to collect energy and perpetuate the cycle. He was the one who gave Leon the cape, and no doubt the scientist is getting some hefty grants for Macrocosmos. And just look at Rose's daily outfit! This goes deeper than just a cape. This is a region-wide conspiracy. But at the very least, we got a cool bike out of it. It's auto-mapped to a button, which is something I did in every previous title anyway, and it has an extra fast mode. Finally, my odd compulsion to constantly hold the B button has meaning again. Although I do wonder what else could be supercharged by Rotom. Maybe my Rotom phone could make a call to space. My Rotom Freeze could achieve Sub-Zero and win the Nobel Prize for Science. My Rotom Heat could complete global warming and get this whole organic life thing over with. Oh wait, Galar has an energy company. me. We've already got that covered. But what else does Galar have? Well, we've got one of my favorite multiplayer modes in Pokemon to date, max raid battles. These things are just straight up awesome. Finally, a co-op mode where my friends can do things with their own teams instead of stealing both my Pokemon and my soul, judging from how they look just like me but dead inside. I mean, that's implied, but whatever. Raid battles are actually super fun though. 5-star battles are legitimately difficult. They're hard to cheese a victory out of, even with Mr. Shoop da Whoop or the Magic Puppers. The time focus on certain Gigantamax forms keeps things fresh too, although some of the Gigantamax forms get kinda strange. Orbeetle looks like it's about to lift some Miltank into the upper atmosphere, and Grimmsnarl you do have to actually strategize somewhat if you want to take down the opponent together. Having someone boost stats and break shields is super useful, and even if someone gets knocked out, somehow through the power of friendship and forgiving game design, you can still throw up a reflector too. It's like that moment in an anime where the main character gets power from all their friends cheering them on. You can still lose though, which sounds pretty mundane until you remember this is Pokemon. An actual challenging in-game battle comes once in a red Lunala, and because of the turn limit, you can't just spam full restore and expect to win. Anything below a 5-star is pretty much guaranteed easy pickings though. Speaking of easy pickings, the gym leaders. Sorry, that was too easy of a joke to make. But what sets Sword and Shield's gyms apart are the version exclusive ones. Alistair and Melanie are fan favorites, albeit for very different reasons. Same goes for B. And while I haven't seen anyone out there who's a huge Gordy fan, I'm sure they exist somewhere out there. Each of these guys is super interesting in their own right though. Alistair is a super fun character with a mysterious backstory that only really gets hinted at. Meanwhile, Melanie and Gordy had their own story play out before the games even start, which explains them being largely missing from the opposite versions. I love it when the gym leaders are more than just, I use this Pokemon type, look how quirky I am. Seriously, some gym leaders are so generic, I can't imagine them doing anything other than just sitting in their gym waiting for a challenger. Hours of every day just spent standing there looking at the door. That would explain why they always seem to be really happy even though you thrashed them. Literally anything to break up the monotony is welcome. But these guys, they have lives. They go out and do things. They model. They farm. Some even have come close to becoming champion. They're all super fun and interesting and not Rourke. And where do we get all this info about the gym leaders from? Well, one of my other favorites, League cards. I really love trainer customization, and this is a great extension of that. The ones in-game are all fun ways to get a new perspective on the characters in the game, both literally and literaturely. These little character bios add so much to the game, and the post-game rare cards have exclusive art. This is a great deal. Normally you'd have to pay $60 for a single PNG in a gacha game, but in Sword and Shield you get all of them guaranteed. Finally, I can have my true waifu close to my heart at all times. Ball guy. My sweet spherical angel can finally be with me always. But we haven't even gotten to what makes League cards so great, the player-generated ones. If you've been active in the Pokemon community online, you'll probably have seen some of the funnier and more questionable cards out there. But these aren't just about showing off how perfectly you can place a camera, it's also about showing off your accomplishments in-game. Since cards don't auto-update, you can show off your perfect team, which in my case is the Gen 5 equivalent of a Magikarp trainer, but I also have a cactus. Leon never stood a chance.